Xbox Series X, we're going over all the details in the flurry of information that was released today. You're seeing right now in full time the console basically being spread out, all the internals. We're going to have full specs kind of shown off and just kind of briefly talking about each of the categories and all the information that you really need to know. Here is the back of the console so you get an idea of the ports that are available. This is the finalized version. And we do have some interesting extra kind of details to go over. Minecraft ray tracing, Gears 5 being enhanced, older games being enhanced, stuff like that. So we're getting 8 cores, 12 teraflops, so you're getting the full specs there. RDNA 2, so that's a big deal just in regards to the AMD architecture. And 16 gigabytes RAM, GDR6, that's kind of a really big deal in terms of just basically how this thing's going to run. That's really top of the line. RAM that's in there, 10 gigabyte at 560 gigabytes a second for the memory bandwidth, and an additional secondary one at 6 gigabytes, 336 gigabytes per second. 1 terabyte internal, so that's a very interesting SSD. You're also going to be able to put in another 1 terabyte. You're not going to be able to really use your old drives. You can. So you can take 3.2 USB, you can plug that in, and you can use that for Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games, original Xbox games, but you cannot use it for Xbox Series X games. So we're going to be very limited on our storage with 1 terabyte, and then an extra 1 terabyte you can kind of shove in there like a memory stick. Very, very interesting what they're doing in regards to like the technology. It seems like Seagate, because I got a press release from them, is going to be the official partner. Oh, they're comparing it to the fridge, which is also kind of funny. So other specs, 4K Blu-ray drive, 4K 60 FPS up to 120 FPS, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. So we've got the controller. So this is a very interesting thing. They've improved the design for a wider range of hand sizes, especially smaller. They're going to be accommodating hands of those of an average 8-year-old because that allows them to basically cover everyone. So they're rounding out the bumpers, slightly reducing and rounding parts around the triggers. So they're just kind of slightly refining the controller that they already have. The D-pad will be more accurate. They're using BTLE, which is Bluetooth Low Energy. It's going to work for PC, Android, iOS, and of course your Xbox consoles. USB-C, so more dynamic options for charging, and DLI, which is a dynamic latency input, which they are able to shave milliseconds off of their previous input times for last gen. And there's the share button, so you can capture screenshots or record video without using a menu. There's also a tactile dot pattern available on the triggers and bumpers for the controller, so generally the same thing that we're used to, but just more refinements over the experience. So for Gears 5, they're going to be using an Xbox Series X enhancement. We're going to get PC Ultra settings available on the console, higher resolution, volumetric fog, 50% particle counter increase, and 4K 60 FPS cutscenes, because previously they were 30 FPS on the Xbox One X. We're getting contact shadow, self shadow, lighting on plants and grass. The game is running at over 100 FPS at that mark so far, and they're attempting to get 120 FPS for the multiplayer modes, and it took them just a matter of weeks to do that, which is impressive because they're kind of comparing that to the One X, where it was very fast for them to be able to add technology to it and kind of give that bump. So you're seeing the patterns there in the Gears 5 footage. So here is ray tracing, which was shown in real time. You're getting a comparison using Minecraft. So basically, ray tracing is real lighting, beams of light coming down just like you would regularly see, as opposed to a baked-in rasterized lighting that we've seen kind of in the past. So this technical demo, these screenshots are showing it off on the Series X, which is really impressive because this is a PC thing only, but we're going to see it in consoles. So I think ray tracing is going to be one of the big evolutions in gaming in regards to the lighting and the technology we have for how we see the games going forward. It's going to be a big change up, and I think these screenshots kind of help convey that because it's just a massive difference for Minecraft what they're able to achieve with the just the water and everything like that. It's absolutely insane, the difference in quality and visuals. I think Minecraft will be a great example of it. A number of other games hopefully will support it around launch, so we'll have to see how that is. And I look forward to digging into ray tracing more as we get more examples of it and as the new consoles come. So other information for latency for their TVs, they've managed for at 4K 120 Hz, they're able to take the latency that was traditionally 16.6 milliseconds, and they're able to reduce that to 8.3 milliseconds in frame transmissions time. So that's kind of a really big deal for getting the connection to your TV responding and being able to see it faster than ever, which is kind of insane. So they're using Xbox Velocity architecture here in order to deliver content and everything like that even faster, and their smart delivery content so that the console knows what games you're playing and what sort of boosts and everything to apply to them. So they've got a quick resume technology here. You can use multiple games at the same time. Well, you could play one game and then you can just leave it and play another game, and then you can go back to that game, or you can go to another game, and you can do like 4 or 5 games at the same time. Depending on the games you're playing, you can just jump right back in. It's like a second of wait time, and then you're back into the action playing the middle of a Gears campaign and then jumping into a Hellblade campaign. I don't know who plays like that, but you can on this one, so that's kind of really cool. Brief wait and you're good to go. You can even run after the console is entirely unplugged. After a system update, apparently one of the testers was able to basically leave their console off for a week and then come back and jump right into the same part of the game they were at without having to wait for loading. So we're literally going to be able to unplug our consoles, maybe take them somewhere, plug them in, and just keep playing, or even get an update and just that's like a minor inconvenience now because you just keep playing right away. That's kind of absolutely crazy, just in terms of the quick resume. And that was a technology that they were trying to do on Xbox One, but they weren't able to properly achieve it, so it kind of vanished anyways. So they've got improved boot and load time. So this is on backwards compatible titles, so Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox titles that are going to be running on Xbox Series X. We're getting more stable frame rates, higher resolutions, and improved image quality. They have been teasing the fact that they are going to do additional enhancements or general boosts to older titles, so we'll have to see what the official news is on that. I mean, they've already confirmed that Gears 5 is going to get a boost. What other games are we going to see? I would guess Sea of Thieves would be a prime candidate, Halo the Master Chief Collection, the recent Forza, probably Horizon 4, I would guess. We'll have to see what else as we get closer to the release, because I'm sure they're going to keep teasing these as we get towards that. They're also looking at technology while they are implementing it, where they're adding HDR to older games. So this is going to roll out in real time and with no overhead costs on the CPU or the GPU in order to achieve this. It's a heat mapping technology that they were showing off in Halo 5 Guardians and Fusion Frenzy. So basically it looks at the knit heat and it aims to add a sort of emulation of HDR. It's not native HDR, but it's not something that you would really be able to notice the difference of if you were someone that was like more casual playing games. You'd be like, wow, this is absolutely amazing, because that kind of is. So generally just a huge drop of information that was supposed to be sent out, I'm guessing, during GDC, but with that being canceled due to the situation these days, they were just kind of releasing it online. There are a lot of tech breaks down that kind of go a little bit more in depth into things, but yeah, generally it's a very impressive looking console. The technology is really interesting behind it. They're doing a lot of tricks to make this seem like a very, not make it seem, but they're doing a lot of side tricks in order to add all these extra little bonuses and bells and whistles to it to make it even more of a better machine. So it's really quite exciting to see what they're doing. They're teasing it so far in advance that they seem to have a lot of confidence behind the technology and the setup that they're doing. We're getting the ray tracing, we're getting lower latency than ever before, games that are going to look insanely beautiful. We're going to be able to swap between these games instantly. I do wonder about the memory size though, just in regards to the storage, because I have 10 terabytes or so on my Xbox One X because I have a lot of games, because I review a lot of games, and it's like we're gonna have to see if they've got a way to maybe lower how big these games are, or somehow magically increase my internet speeds, because going from 10 to 1, maybe I'm guessing I'm gonna have to buy an extra stick, so 2 terabytes at a max. That's quite a decrease, especially with the fact that these games are ballooning in size over the years. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is like, 150 gigabytes or something. You're only going to get a few games on your console before you're maxed out. That's not great. But I'm sure the technology will evolve and change. So, yeah, definitely an interesting drop. Again, the key things to look at in this are the fact that we've got a confirmed ray tracing technology going to be deployed through Minecraft. We could see that on other titles. Gears 5 is going to look better than ever, and they're going to do a lot of kind of boosts in regards to like how these games are looking, how older games are looking, how newer games are going to perform, how fast things are going to load, and just how we're going to be able to change how we play games and the technology behind those games. So very exciting.